Ashley, and I am a homeschooling mom to 4, and today's video is going to be another video for the end of the year curriculum series that I'm doing. So if you missed the last one that I did, what I'm doing is I'm going back now that my school year is winding down. We actually only have one more week left to go before we take a little bit of a break, and I am evaluating the curriculum that I chose to use. So I will have a link to the original video if you would like to see the video I did at the beginning of the year, basically just showing you what I would be using. And now I am coming back at the end of my school year, reviewing that curriculum and letting you know if I would use it again and all of that. So I'm going to jump right in. Today's video review is going to be on our core and our science that went with our core. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what a core is, really quickly, it's basically the spine of your homeschool. So if you're homeschooling more than one child, you're going to have your subjects that all of your kids can learn together, and then you're going to individualize their math and reading and language arts and those things. So for me, this is what we did as a group and as a family. We did Sonlight Core C this year, and I'm just gonna pop it up right here. So this is the instructor's guide. I spiral bound this myself. It comes in a big binder. I much prefer to spiral bind it. That way I can leave it open to the page that I want. So Sonlight Core C is, as you can see here, Intro to World History, year 2 of 2. So it is the second year of world history. And so basically my review of this portion, this would include our Bible, our history, our geography, and our family read alouds, was that it was great. We read so many good books. You guys, I can't even begin to tell you. I am always amazed, like when I'm having a day of homeschool where I'm kind of wondering, like, I'm looking down because I'm finding the book list for you guys, where I'm kind of wondering, did I do enough? You know, have my kids really learned enough this year? And then I look at this and I see that I read, me or my husband read every single book to our kids. So that is like over 30 books that we read from start to finish on the second year of world history. Now, some of the books were better than others. We did read them all. I know that sometimes if your kids are not enjoying a book, some parents will just shelf it. We went ahead and persevered on through it, and we just read all the books that went with this. So my kids learned a lot. Now, with this curriculum, though, with it being Intro to World History, year 2 of 2, it is a brief overview of a various time period. So if you're looking for something that goes super in depth into a certain time period, then that curriculum probably wouldn't be the best for you, because I would describe it as a overview. So it gives you a general idea, and then your read aloud might be a story that takes place in that time period. And then once you're done with that read aloud, you kind of are moving on to another part. So we went over knights and castles. We went into different, like the revolution. We went into some European things that took place. So we covered a lot of different stuff, and we enjoyed it. So I would recommend that curriculum. Really quickly, I pulled out all of the books, because the bonus of using Sonlight is that this curriculum is very easily resold, which helps me offset some of the cost of the new curriculum. So anyways, I pulled out some of the books that were my kids' favorites. So these were our read alouds that we did. They all went with our curriculum for world history, Sonlight Core C. I'm not going to say whose were whose favorites, but I'm just going to show you. So this Captain Nobody book was a great read. I really enjoyed that myself. The Apprentice was another one that came with our core. My kids love this book. We did learn about some of the artists, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, different sculptors during the Elizabethan time period, so that was also included. This was another favorite, Strawberry Girl. So all of these were read alouds that we did as a family. 21 Balloons was another favorite, especially of my younger two, because I went ahead and just allowed them to listen in on these books and these discussions, because I didn't buy a separate core, meaning a history and geography for my first grade in pre-K. They just kind of listened in on these books, and so some of them they liked, some of them they didn't. And then the last one that I have to show you was my favorite read aloud this year, and it was The Cricket in Times Square. I loved this book. This was so cute. I found myself wanting to read it just as much as the kids. So this was an absolute favorite of ours this year. So in summary, I feel like my kids got to hear some great books. I don't know that they would be able to spit out any kind of historical facts on world history. I think what it did was just open their eyes and minds to see that there is a great big world out there. So I think that it was successful in that department. But if you're a mom who wants to be able to have them recount everything they learned verbally or written, then I don't know that there was enough time spent on the different time periods to really do that. I felt that it was just an eye-opening experience for them to learn about kind of how things were and factories and just different things. So we liked it. So moving on, we also did Science C. As you can see, geology, meteorology, and mechanical technology. So again, this was Science C, so it went with the core. We did this as a group, and I did not love this, you guys. It just wasn't super exciting. I personally did not really enjoy it. My kids didn't really enjoy it. I feel like for us, for science, my kids are fascinated by science, and they are going to do better with a curriculum that is on one small topic, say zoology, animals, where they are just learning everything about that same topic all year long. Doing projects and reports and reading and watching videos and just like lots of different information on one thing. This science was too all over the place for us. We touched on the solar system, but the solar system you could spend so much more time on that. So could I have paused and done that? Sure. But I'm saying if I stayed on the schedule for this curriculum, it was too fast moving for my kids, in my opinion. So we did not love the science, but we finished it anyway. So this is, when you purchase science from Sonlight, you get these activity sheets and they correlate. So my older two would write their answers down, and then we would also discuss the questions verbally, and I would have my younger two kind of narrate back to me what they heard, so that they were getting some comprehension as well for doing that science. So that is my review on our core that we used, Sonlight Core C. We loved the read alouds. I loved the eye-opening experience that they got, that there is much more to the world than just where they live and the way things are now. So I would recommend that. Science C, there was nothing wrong with it that I hated about it. It just didn't work well for my kids, and that is why I made a change to the science that we're going to be doing next year, which if you haven't seen that video, I will have it linked down below. Also with the original video I did on Sonlight, showing you what we were going to be doing. So if you like this curriculum review, please give it a thumbs up. I do have more coming. As I told you guys, I'm going to do one for all 4 of my kids, but this was our group portion of our homeschool. And so that is my review of it. I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.